these are roads, okay, and I want to scale them up and down, but I want them to keep the same thickness to match everything else that's in my document. Okay, so I want to scale it up and down, but I want to retain the thickness. But most of the time, have nothing selected, just make sure it's on. That's, I bet you probably 70% of the time you're just going to need to leave it on. But no, that's where it is. When you want to scale it down, you can turn it off and it will keep its stroke size. All right, we're going to work through and color this fella using our newfound grouping arranging techniques. I'm going to click on the body. I'm going to say you, my friend, have got a fill of black and a stroke of white. Actually, I might do him last because he kind of makes these a little bit harder to use. So I'm going to click on him. I'm going to hold shift and click on the eye because I want to do the same thing. I want them both to have a white center and no stroke, please. Awesome. I'm going to click on the body and I want the body to have a fill of white. And nope, I want it to have a fill of black and I'd like to have no stroke. Okay, so my alignment's actually working out fine except for my little flipper here. You can kind of see him. So it's a little bit hard to find that flipper. I can kind of roll around and I eventually find him, and that's actually probably just perfect. Click on him and I can say, you, my friend, have a fill of black, stroke of white, and I want to bring you to the front by going to arrange and say bring to front. Another way to do it, I'm going to undo, okay, so I can't see it right. There is a kind of a skeleton view you can use. It's called outline. If you go to view and go to this one that says outline, okay, it's a common thing to use, Command Y. Okay, or Control Y. Can you see it's just like a really wireframe version? So you can do things like actually click on him because he's easy to see in this view. I can go to arrange, bring him to front, then go to view, and so can you see Command Y toggles between GPU view, which is not a sexy way of calling it, but it just toggles outline, GPU, outline, GPU. So I do that quite a bit. If I lose something, I'm like, I'm pretty sure there was a flipper here somewhere. I can just go to Command Y on my Mac or Control Y on my PC and just kind of select them. So I'm going to grab you. I'm going to give him a no stroke. I want you to be the same. You are going to have no stroke and a black fill, my little beak. I'm going to grab you, who are nicely grouped, my little sheriff's badge. Penguin. You notice I kind of did, I should have selected all of these in one go because they're all doing the same thing. I can do another little trick is, can you see this little eyedropper tool here? Okay, it's this eyedropper tool. So to make it work, I have this selected, okay, the outside of it, grab my eyedropper tool and then click on the middle of my beak here and it goes and steals the same setting. So it changes the fill and the stroke to match it. It's a handy little advanced one. All right, what I might do is I might grab this. This is going to be a fill of some sort of gray thing here. And I'm going to show you a few other color options. So gray, I'm not sure why it's gray. It's ice, or I just want a really monochromatic design. This edge of this for the water, what I'm going to do is, say you've got these presets in here, okay? Just these are pre-mixed. They're called swatches. Adobe has just said, these are the ones, these are some defaults. And they're good. But say you want your own custom color. See this little icon here, color mixer? Okay, it gives you the option down the bottom for this thing here called the RGB spectrum. And it's just a little rainbow color thing. Click anywhere in it, and it's the tip of the little eyedropper will be the color. So you can pick any old color you like. Move it around. Pick any old color down. Come on. That's going to work for me. Ish. No, a bit more green. I'm going to get rid of the strokes on these guys. Same with you. Goodbye stroke. And now I'm just messing around. You can skip through to the next video now. I'm going to go through and color all of these, holding shift to grab them all. Here we go. I'm going to go fill the white. Now remember, if you want to go back to the swatches, click on this first one. And I'm going to have a stroke of none. I'm going to put in a little bit of a background color because I want to see my white belly a little bit better. So I'm going to put in, you can't change the background color. Okay, you know it's white there, the page color. You can't just go and say set background color on like you can on some programs. You actually have to draw a box. So rectangle tool, I'm going to draw it all the way across, covering the whole thing. I'm going to give it a color of that really light gray. There we go. And I'm going to give it a stroke of none. I'm going to say arrange, send to back, please. And it just means that you can see my little belly of my dude there. And if you're like me, I don't like his little pot belly now. I'm going to click on him, click on that guy once to get the corner. And just drag him back down so he's got a nice square belly. Move my feet in a little bit so you can kind of see that it's got feet at the side. Alright, so that's us for this video. We have created a little pot belly content penguin. What I'd like to do is set you a task now. Okay, so I'd like you to create your own creature. The boundaries are you have to use the tools we've learned in the last 3 videos. So just things like simple shapes like our triangles, pentagons, stars, rectangles, the corners you can use. I don't want you to use any of the other tools, just these simple tools we've used. The other thing is let's keep our animals. I'm going to give you some boundaries. We're going for ocean going animals. It could be in the sea or like our penguin kind of related to the sea. So pick another animal, and doesn't matter whether you hand draw it and then scan it in or whether you just draw it straight in Illustrator. It's up to you. Now remember, this is your first drawing, so don't worry if you're like, oh, this isn't good. I would love to see it. Okay, so if you take a screenshot or save this as a JPEG, if you're not sure how to save a JPEG, we'll do it later in the course. Okay, you look for a video called exporting from Illustrator. You can kind of sneak ahead to that one just so you can get the JPEG out, or just do a screenshot. And I'd love for you to upload and tag it to me in Twitter and Instagram. So on Twitter, I am Dan Loves Adobe. Also tag in Tuts Plus, okay? So Envato Tuts Plus. They are Tuts Plus Design on Twitter. And on Instagram, I am Bring Your Own Laptop. Tag me in. I'd love to see what you did. So pause it now, go do that, and then I will see you in the next video where we start looking at something called the Shape Builder tool. All right, I'll see you there. Hello and welcome. This video is all about the Shape Builder tool. We're going to take the drawing we did earlier, this one, and do this to it. What do? Okay, we cast some shadows. Can you see? Before, after. We cast some shadows on the penguin, okay, using a real quick and easy tool using the Shape Builder. We also did some stuff with the eye there, where it's kind of a pie shape cut out of the circle. If you have tried Illustrator before and you've messed around with the Pathfinder and thought it was really tough, this is a replacement for it. It is awesome. You'll love it. I've spent far too much time hyping this up. Let's just jump in and learn how it works. All right, to get started, let's go to File, let's go to Open, and in your exercise files, there's one called Shape Builder Tool. We want the one that says 1, Shape Builder Tool 1. Not particularly exciting, we just got some shapes. Now, these are nothing special, just like we did in the last videos. Just I drew some circles and some squares and a star. Now, where the Shape Builder is quite cool, we're going to just learn the basics here, and then we're going to go back and see what you saw at the beginning there, where we kind of add some shadows and stuff to our penguin. So with it all selected, so I grab my black arrow, I've drawn a box all the way around it, or you can hold Shift and click 1, try and click them all. Either way, once you've got them all selected, we want the Shape Builder tool. It's this one here. It's a hard one to describe. 2 targets and an arrow. Okay, click on this guy here. It's underneath the pin. Now there's a couple of ways to use Shape Builder. Okay, so by default, you can kind of see my cursor there has a little plus. Okay, and what that allows me to do is, these are 2 separate shapes. What I can do is click in here, hold, drag, drag, drag. I'm kind of like clicking my mouse, holding and drawing a line in between all 3 of these. And watch this when I let go. It magics them all together. So now if I go back to my black arrow, click off in the background, this is just one shape that's all been joined up. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to select them all again. I'm going to show you some other things it does. So Shape Builder. Okay, by default, it's got the little plus. But if I hold down the Option key on my Mac or Alt key on a PC, can you see it changes from a plus to a minus? And it lets me do things like this. I want to delete this chunk here. Just kind of snips all up where they overlap. If you've ever tried doing that with the Pathfinder tool, maybe you've used Illustrator in the past, man, it was a pain. So clicking and dragging across things joins them up. Holding down Option on a Mac or Alt on the PCs allows you to click and delete things. Super handy. I'll show you its other really good use. I'm going to draw a big rectangle across all of these guys, just because I want to show you something. So I've drawn a rectangle. I'm going to grab my black arrow. I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to jump to my Shape Builder tool. And it does another good thing. Rather than just joining up and removing things, you can actually color shapes where they all overlap. Because remember, this rectangle is just a rectangle. Okay, I want to color some intersections. So I'm going to select them all, black arrow, back to my Shape Builder tool, go to my properties panel, and in here I can pick a fill color. So I can say, back to my swatches maybe, I'm going to pick blue for no good reason, pink for another no good reason. And what we can do is click it to drop it back in. And now look what happens. Look, magic. I can just like color bits where they overlap. Now you might not find this amazing. I do. It's just super quick and easy for coloring vector. I can pick different colors. So instead of trying to join them and break them apart and make them complete shapes, I can just click a fill color and just click on one of these separate shapes. Now, if you feel totally underwhelmed by this tool, It's because I've got a really simple exercise here just to get the basics going. So remember, click and hold and drag across to join things. Hold down the Option key or Alt key on a PC to minus things. You can drag across with minus as well to minus big chunks. And remember, with nothing held down, I can just pick a fill and then just click on them to color. So I'm going to close this down and we're going to open up another file. So I'm not going to save it because we didn't do anything very exciting. Some terrible colors there. What I'd like you to do now is go to File, go to Open, and I want you to open up Shape Builder 2. So this exercise here, we're going to do some more practical uses of that Shape Builder tool, and hopefully you'll see the value then. First thing I want to do before I get started, black arrow, I'm going to click on my sky. It's this kind of big gray box in the background here. What I want to do is something unrelated to the Shape Builder tool, but often useful when you've got like this background color. I want to put it on its own layer and lock it, so it's not getting in the way of me working on my penguin here. So with it selected, okay, I'm going to go to my layers panel. I'm going to make a brand new layer. There's this little turned up page here, create new layer. Up the top, all the way up here, it's giving me this thing called layer 3. I'm going to double click the word layer 3. I'm going to call this background. Just to give everything a name, layer 1, okay, is where all my drawing is. I'm going to double click layer 1 and this is going to be my drawing. So background has nothing on it at the moment. It's a layer with nothing on it. What I'd like to do is put the sky on it and then lock it. So to do that, black arrow, make sure the sky is selected. You can see this little blue dot here. Okay, that means that's indicating that it's on this layer here. The sky is actually on the drawing layer. To move it to the background layer, click and hold this little blue spot until he goes to this layer. Okay, that just says I've dragged him from drawing to the background layer. The trouble with the background layer, it is above everything else. You can kind of see it up here. You see background first, then drawing underneath. And remember that template we had right underneath it all. To change that, grab background, click, hold, and drag the word. You can see those little lines appear everywhere. It's kind of a bit weird, so click and hold, drag the word background until it appears just underneath drawing there. You might have to practice that a couple of times. If it goes wrong, go to edit, undo, and see if you can get it into the right position. So how do I know this is on the background layer? See the eyeball? Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. So I know that's the background layer. It's underneath. I'm going to click this little lock icon like I did for the background. All it means now is if I try and move it, I can't. All right, next thing I want to do is just make sure on my drawing layer, that's the one I'm going to work on. I'm going to go back to my properties panel. All right, so what I'd like to do is I'm going to change this eye. Okay, he's going to go from content penguin. I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. I'm going to give him a different kind of eye like you saw at the beginning there. I'm going to grab the ellipse tool. I'm going to draw out a nice big ellipse, holding down shift to get it to be perfect. I'm going to give it a fill color. I'm going to give it no stroke. What I want to do is a second circle. So it's really common in cartoons to kind of have that sliced out eye. Okay, so I'm drawing another ellipse, holding down shift. It doesn't matter which color it is, okay, because we're going to actually delete it, but I'm just making it blue so it's easier for you to see. I've moved back to my selection tool. I'm going to grab the center of it and just kind of overlap it there so it's kind of half off. I want to slice that out of the eyeball. Make it look like a kind of a reflection. So I'm going to select both of them, go to my Shape Builder tool. And what was the key I held down to delete things? Do you remember? That's right, it's the Option key on a Mac, Alt key on a PC, and I can say, you go, you go. And the cool thing about that now, see how easy that was? It's like a cookie cutter. Grab my black arrow, I can drag them, and you can see it's actually a hole cut out of it. So I'm gonna hold shift, grab the edge, and get it to a penguin-y size, eyeball size. You can decide on how big you want this eye. All right, up to you. Where is it gonna be? Yeah. All right, it's enough. All right, so that's minusing. We kind of minus that circle from that circle. What I want to do is join something. So I'm going to click with my black arrow, the white belly. And I'm just going to drag it up here. Okay, so it kind of overlaps. I'm going to kind of get it so it matches up with the nose-ish. Because that's the kind of look that I want. I want it to be all kind of one. So I'm going to click this, hold shift, and click this in the center. So that they're two separate units, but using my handy dandy shape